me, keep a 20 on me, case emergency. Ain't no cap in my rap. Real, I know it's the trap. More profit mean extra. Emerald white off full of pressure. That cereal milk smoking right. But that Obama rant some special. Kansas City, I'm a chief. Shout out to K5 on this one. Country thinking I was hustling. I always had it on me. Booming like OJ the Juice. Till a nigga told on me. From now on it's relentless. Ain't no love, we ain't friendly. If she want me on him. No the law, she get the business. No the law, still the motto. Empire.
I know you in real life, like not on Facebook or nothing. Like I know you in real life. Like that's what's probably gonna happen. All right. Hello. Welcome in. This is the Birds of a Feather podcast with your boy Q City.
Your boy Taj Bravado.
And this is the Falcons Pod Salary Cap Edition. So for my nerds, for my cap wizards, we are about to get deep into the salary cap. Come along with us, enjoy the ride. Well, Taj, why you don't ever bring us in? Why you don't ever bring us in? I know people get tired of hearing my voice first all the time.
Hey man, we in a routine. We'll switch it up. You know. But hey, that's just what it is right now. You know. As I get more comfortable in front of this camera and all of that, you know, things will happen.
With your current light skin going on, you got the beard,
Hey man,
got the cap on.
I gotta look presentable.
Deep in your Brent Fayez bag. You know what I'm saying?
Man. I don't know who I'm watching this.
Hey. I can't with you. All right, man. So let's get into the salary cap. As of current, right? Projected salary cap $250 million. It's some change. Active contracts is $225. This is the beautiful part, bro. Dead cap. $533,000. That's a rounding error. You understand me? Like $533,000 in dead cap. Terry is being extra Jewish with the cap, bro. Like he ain't let a dime slip out. 533 dead cap got to be up there with the best in the league, bro.
Extra Jewish. That's still.
Boy, extra Jewish with it, boy. No soup for you. He is on every penny. That is amazing. Our top 51 account for 220,000, but our estimated cap space is sitting at 30 mil. Estimated cap space is sitting at 30 mil. Incoming rookie class should hit about 16 of that, but you should be able to play with a lot of the money. With who's currently on the roster. We should be big players in free agency again. And that's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a bad feeling because we don't have a quarterback, but it's a good feeling.
The team is going to be good, you know. There's that one asterisk.
Yeah.
But, hey, we'll get there. Hopefully.
Yes. So that's where we're going to start, right? So we're going to go position by position and then kind of mention if this is something we should look for in the draft, if this is if this could be a cap casualty in this position group, and just go through all the way through, right? Now, quick aside for those of you that don't know the salary cap. Something that's come to my attention is that we are very personable. Messed up that word. We are very personable. You know what I'm saying? People. We're very charismatic and stuff. And so we got viewers that don't know these sports, right? And they just kind of want to listen to us. So just kind of give y'all a brief overview of salary cap. Obviously, if you're a long-time sports listener, you hit the 30-second thing twice. Get past this. All right. Salary cap. So in most leagues, you pay your players. Right? There's a pie in which you can pay your players from, and that changes year over year. That is your salary. That's the money you can pay your players. It doesn't exist in baseball. That's a little, some people feel like the salary cap is un-American, but regardless, it keeps all teams on a level playing field. So let's say you have $250 million. You need to allocate that $250 million across every player on your team. Obviously, some people are going to get paid more. Some people are going to get paid less.
But
now,
the fun thing
what
about
dead
that
cap is,
funny thing about that number in all season is there's this thing called the top 51 rule, where anything after the 51st player doesn't really count. Now
It's just kind of missing money.
It'll just take into account that your lowest contract. So the 51st contract, whatever the lowest one, anything lower than that does not count on the cap. Now, obviously, once you get back toward the time where it's time to cut, it counts again. But it allows for a lot of roster flexibility.
Right? Now, you have what's known as dead cap, which means if you cut said player and you promise to pay them for an amount of time, you are going to get penalized for cutting them before you were supposed to pay all of it out to them, right? That's the easiest way to say it. Let's say I promise to pay you $10 for an hour of work. If I cut you at 45 minutes, yeah, I ain't got to pay you $10. I pay you like $8.50, but let's say the business is still going to charge me that $1.50 because I promised to pay you $10, right? That's the easiest way to explain it. Dead cap is just like the money I promised to pay, but like I don't want your services anymore, so I cut you. So when you hear of a dead cap number or a cap casualty, it's a player that like the team may no longer want your services and we're willing to take a hit for you not playing with us. But ultimately, in a weird way, it could end up saving us money. And we'll get into it with the first position group, which is quarterback. Obviously, we're going to be major players for quarterback here in the offseason or in the draft, here in free agency or the draft, right? You got Ritter. He's making $1.4 million over the next 2 years. Extremely cheap. He probably shouldn't go anywhere. This is where we get a little funny. Tell me about Heinicke, bro.
Well, Heinicke was an experience, to say the least. But due to his cap number, and you could find much better experiences out there. If you cut him, you save north of $6.5 million. I'd rather have
absolutely.
I'd rather have $6.5 million than Taylor Heinicke on my team.
So let's say, if I'm not mistaken, he signed for $17 million, right?
2 years, 14.
2 years, 14.
The first
right?
year was like five something, and then the second they kind of just
is 8.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So his cap number is, when you think 2 years, $14 million, you think 7 1 year, 7 the other. That may be how his cash is paid out. But what you could do with the salary cap is you can play with the numbers. And you could say, well, this year I'm paying him 5 and some change, and the next year I'm paying him 8.5. Well, if I cut him on the next year, you're going to charge me $2 million, but I don't have to pay you 8.5. So on the cap, I save $6.5 million. I can then allocate that to another player.
Yeah.
So Heinicke may be a cap casualty coming up this year. I'm not going to lie to you. I think he is 100% going to be a cap casualty if we go out and get somebody in free agency. Now, if we draft somebody, they might keep him around because we have unrestricted free agents in Felipe and Woodside.
Yeah. They out of there. Felipe's not even a quarterback. He's a tight end at this point.
To be honest, bro, he really playing that.
Yeah, they even switched him on man to tight end, so it's official.
That's where we get all the breaking news from. Speaking of video games, side note, this ain't got nothing to do with salary cap. Speaking of video games,
ball 25,
boy, you better freaking believe, bro. I'm making the nastiest UAB dynasty y'all have ever seen. Do you understand me? Like, I'm gonna get a statue outside. Yo, bro, I can't wait. I cannot wait. Now, granted, EA is making it, so it might be a whole bunch of microtransactions in that motherfucker, but still.
It will be. But that's mostly for like
the
bro side of things, And I'm a very big partaker in that, so hey, it is what it is.
Man, I just hope they have dynasty mode. I don't know if you remember.
They still
it might have been.
They still gonna have it because like I'm a franchise player too. and Dynasty is just the
Yeah.
franchise version. So you're gonna be able to, like I don't know if y'all remember, but back then when you could load it up, and then as you got better in the game, that little picture on the computer, the better you got, the better the girl looked.
Nah, bro, like, what's it called? It was either 12 or 13. Do you remember when, like, your players used to get in trouble? And then, like, if you didn't discipline them, like, eventually would lead to your program being on sanctions.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that? Like, bro, I had like a whole 2-year bowl ban because I wasn't like I had 5 stars. I wasn't suspending nobody. You understand me? Like, short of a felony, hey, get on the field Saturday, bro. And then what was the other thing? When you could upload the draft classes on the Madden.
Yeah,
they gotta bring that back. They gotta bring that back, bro.
It would be interesting. I'm kind of 50-50 on that, though. Well, mainly because I play in an online franchise, so I wouldn't want that from an online league. But if it's just me, that's cool.
No, just a regular franchise, bro. Well, I think when they was doing it, Madden didn't have a whole bunch of online capabilities.
They were just starting.
Right.
I just didn't play online at that time.
Yeah. Like, I think it's gonna be super fun. I can't wait. I really want to see how they handle NIL in the transfer portal, bro.
That's gonna be another interesting aspect that they add.
Right, because the transfer portal is just like, it's bananas. I want to see how they move that into the game. It's going to be so frustrating if you're a small time program, because like that was one of the best parts of the game, was taking a small time program and just like building it up. So like if you're a small time program and you manage to recruit a couple 5 stars and then they leave after the first season, like, it's going to be very hard to compete with the big boys. But everybody's looking forward. Everybody looking forward to college football 25.
Right. When I take Georgia State University to the national championship, I like taking I like taking bad teams. I like taking bad teams and building them up. That's my thing.
100%, bro. To this day, my superstar in Madden comes from Georgia State. To this day. Oh, speaking of which, remember that quarterback where I was throwing all them interceptions, bro? Now, granted, don't get me wrong, I still throw a bunch of interceptions, but I ended the season with like 59 touchdowns and like 8 or 9 rushing. I got it together. We lost in the second round of the playoffs, but I got it together.
All right, Dak Prescott.
Hey, look, bro, my defense let up like 45 points, and I only threw 1 pick.
All right, Dak.
Hey, look, man, I can't do nothing about that. Like, every single time I get kicked off, like, and then we don't go for it on 4th down at all, nowhere on the field. My field goal kicker missed like twice. I'm like, bro, I think we lost like 45-17 or something. It was disgusting. But the point is, stop talking about video games. Let's get back to real life. We look at the running backs, right? Look at the running backs. Bijan, he's making $5 million this year, $6 million next year, blase. Bijan ain't going nowhere, right? Like, we don't. Bijan's not going anywhere. Algier, he makes damn near nothing. So it's really no reason to.
Yeah, like I think maybe $1 million, maybe.
Yeah, it's like 1.08, and please don't get it twisted. When I say makes nothing, $1 million salary as a W-2 employee is a hell of a lot of money. Yeah. I'm talking about it in terms of football salary.
He only seeing really like 500, maybe 6.
Yeah, in terms of a football salary, he's not making a whole bunch of money. Cordero Patterson is a perfect example of what we mean by funny years and like, yeah.
It's funny here, but the contract actually expires.
Yeah, so Cordell will not be on the team.
Yeah, it's one of them things where like do nothing and the contract expires. That's pretty much it. The only way he'll be back is if they go back in and physically edit the contract to keep him back. But if they do absolutely nothing at all when the new year starts, his contract will void. That's the same thing that happened with Lorenzo Carter last year. It was a 2-year contract on paper, but it had a clause into it to where if you do nothing, it just voids. So that's the
basically, right? So we would quote unquote take a 2.5 million dead cap this year and a 1.25 next year, even though he's an unrestricted free agent. But they'll easily restructure that, take it to 3.75, and then might be able to lower it to where it's like 500,000. But basically, Cordero's not going to be on the team, and we might take a very, very small penalty for him not being on the team. But it's just because they wanted to do right by him and pay him after that big season.
Yeah.
Right? They gave him a lot of cash up front and really spread out his cap hit. But I don't think in the draft or free agency we do anything with the running back position drastically. We might get a guy day 3, but I just don't see a lot of anything being advocated to that position.
Yeah,
what about
it'll probably be like a 5th or 6th round pick that they, on a little later round fire just to fill out the depth. Most likely probably be a priority free agent.
Yeah, 100%. So then you move on to the fullbacks. Nothing to note. Keith Smith is an unrestricted free agent, but
I don't think we're going for
this is actually one of the. That's what I was gonna say. That completely is based on what the new offense is gonna look like. We may not carry a fullback. We may just carry a bigger running back, and Algier fits that role absolutely perfectly. If we want to have 2 running backs,
they're probably going to just use like a hybrid tight end.
Yeah, I don't see us carrying a fullback.
Because I want to say with the Rams, I want to say they used Higbee at tight end. At fullback sometimes. I know they didn't have a fullback
basically
roster.
just like a Clyde Horse.
They would use tight ends just. Yeah, so we're gonna find like
now we do have a fullback on the roster outside of Keith Smith. He's just not making anything, and he's under the top 51. So, I had the name. Hold on,
because he's the only one I know. Because the only other person that played football was Tucker Fisk, but he's actually a tight end.
Nope, they had it. Oh no, Robert Burns.
Oh, well, I ain't never heard of him, so that's new to me.
Nah, he falls outside the top 51, and I think he was an off-season signing. So, yeah. But technically, they have him under contract for $795, but it's not guaranteed, and most likely he's only bringing home like 400,000. But if he makes it all the way to a roster, it becomes fully guaranteed, and that'd be pretty cool. But it's just, do you need to allocate that money, time, and resource if you can in a situation like you said, convert a tight end for those type of plays. Now, traditionally, most of these Shanahan offenses have traditionally struggled in short yardage situations because they don't have many power runners, using that kind of wide zone scheme. I think that what's his name? Kyle has adapted greatly to that with having Juszczyk, and they're really good at short yardage situations. The Rams still kind of struggle in that area. So maybe that's something that our coach kind of learned from, and we may keep a fullback. But like I said, it completely relies on what this new offense is going to hold.
Due to the Rams not keeping one, I don't expect us to keep one either. Because I feel like we're going to be much more spread out in the attack on things. Because Arthur loved a lot more condensed formations, a lot more heavy. And even though this isn't going to be like a direct reflection of what the Rams ran, it's going to be their own variation of it. But the Rams led the league in 11 personnel. So 90-something%. They were in 3 wide receiver sets 90-something% of the time. So you got 3 receivers out there, you're not really going to have fullback out there. So I don't expect it to be 90s. I expected maybe 70, maybe about 70-ish%.
So speaking of wide receivers, this is where I think we're going to be major players in free agency.
You're going to get busy. We're going to get busy.
We got Drake. Drake's making $6 million. He ain't going nowhere. He tapped in. We have Mac, who's making less than $1 million. Josh Ali and Chris Blair both making less than $1 million. I ain't got nothing against Josh or Chris. If y'all want to come on the show, please do. I don't know if they're shoe-ins to make the team next year. You know what I'm saying? So even though their cap hit may be there technically as of now, I don't know how much of a shoe-in they are to make it next year.
So
The wide receiver position is where we getting busy this offseason.
see, this is where I expect there's going to be a big shake because it makes it easier to reshape that room. Because Drake's the only notable one under contract. No offense to y'all, other guys, but you know, it's the nature of this thing.
No offense to y'all. I don't know your name.
I forgot it just that quick. My bad. Josh Ali and Chris Blair. My bad. Yeah, but you know, Drake's the most notable guy in that room. But due to that, and you have a new offensive philosophy coming in, it's going to change the type of receivers that are going to be coming into the room. Because Arthur Smith, he was all about size. Like he was on. I was watching a Matt Ryan interview. And he was like one of Arthur Smith's philosophies is it's a big man's game. So he went after big players. So our receiver coach, Ike Hilliard, one of the things that he said when talking about what he wants in receiver room, he wants fast and physical and smart. So,
not sure how fast Drake is, but the physical is smart. He definitely checks the boxes.
Drake's not the fast, but Cooper Kupp wasn't fast either. Drake's gonna be fine.
Nah.
But the other receivers that they bring in, I think they're going to be more predicated on speed. Because if you look at how the Rams operated, in guys, I'm not saying this is going to be a 1-to-1, so do not expect the 1-to-1. But when you look at the Rams receivers and cornerbacks, they did not prioritize size on either of those.
100%.
So just like, you know, Arthur Smith, he didn't really play the small guys on offense for whatever reason. So
because Scotty Miller couldn't get no burn to save his life, bro.
He didn't play until Taylor Heinicke played, and he only ate when Taylor Heinicke played. So that is what that is. So I expect this.
So do you expect Van Jefferson to be re-signed?
It's possible,
especially considering you gave up draft capital for him.
I mean, you gave up like a 7th.
You still gave up draft capital.
You did, but that is.
Puka was a 6th-round pick.
He was a 5th-round pick, but that still doesn't guarantee.
Yeah, 5th-round pick.
That still doesn't guarantee keeping him because we gave up a 5th for Okudah. I'm not sure we retain him.
We're not keeping Okudah.
Like you give up that pick because it's a low risk, better than low reward.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I wouldn't be opposed to them already having them in the building, but that's another part of it. You kind of lose the whole, you're around, you're familiar with the fact that you're changing the whole coaching staff and the whole offense. You know what I'm saying? You don't really have a leg up in the situation to say you want to keep the guy.
Yeah, no, but see, here's my thing. The only thing it's a double-sided coin with the Van Jefferson thing because, like, yeah, we did give up capital to acquire him, but these people are coming from the team that traded him.
Factual. He donezo. You're cooked, buddy. You're cooked, buddy. I straight up forgot that point. Yeah, nah. Hey, it's over for you, big dog. It's over for you, big dog. Yeah, nah. Hey, better learn Chinese, buddy. It's over for you, big dog. I straight up forgot that point. I straight up forgot that point.
It's not a 0% chance, but it's like the fact that they traded him for that and they're a part of that.
Yeah.
They had a say in it.
Yeah. They did. Yeah, they valued you with a 7th-round pick. So yeah, they'll just get a 7th-round pick and you'll be cheaper.
and the thing is, it wasn't even a straight. It was a pick swap. I think we swapped like a 6 for a 7th. I think that's what it was. I think we gave him a 6. They gave us him in the 7th. So.
That's terrible. They don't even green that in Madden, bro. That's terrible. That's terrible. Madden, I was thinking about it from the speed component.
Yeah, I mean, he would offer something like that, but it's possible, but it's just I don't know. I mean,
They're
It
not
would make
bringing
it would
that.
make sense
They're
because he's a
not.
good
They're
deep
not
threat.
bringing that.
I mean, it depends. If they want to bring him back for something cheap, because they knew it was coming for a contract year, and they probably was like, we ain't gonna resign you here, at least L.A. Now Atlanta, maybe because you know,
Yeah, because Terry is the one that pulled the trigger on that trade, and Terry is still there.
yeah, Terry is still there, but you know, Raheem and Zach Robinson are gonna be calling the shots on the 53. Terry's responsible for getting you the ingredients, and they get to pick which ones they want.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah, he might not be there. He might not be there.
I mean, it's possible, but you know, I mean, due to the receiver room being so barren, it's possible.
So when you're thinking about big name wide receivers, are you looking at somebody? Are you thinking about bringing in somebody like Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, Mike Evans? Is that where you're going this offseason? Or are you looking like, hey, maybe with the 8th pick, we need to pick somebody like Rome Odunze. Maybe we need to package and see if we can get up and pick. Well, I don't even think we need to move to get Malik Neighbors.
Look, he's going higher than you think he is. You sent me.
No. It's just the math. It's just the math of it.
Yeah, the math of it.
Quarterbacks.
Yeah, he's probably going top 6.
Quarterback going in the top 4.
Yeah,
quarterbacks are going in the top 4 picks.
Maybe
3 quarterbacks going in the top 4 picks.
We don't know that yet because there's been countless times that these quarterbacks are going X, Y, and Z, and then you know, like remember when Malik Lewis was going to be the number 1 pick until he wasn't.
I mean, yeah, but so here's my thing about it. If a quarterback makes it to the 5th slot, somebody's going to jump up, which leaves like skill position. Like Joe Alt is still up there.
Yeah, I mean,
my tackle from Penn State still up there.
Yeah,
Marvin Harrison Jr. is still up there. Marvin Harrison is still up there.
Marvin ain't going. He ain't going nowhere than a 4. It's 3 or 4 for him.
No, that's what I'm saying. If he goes 4, you know what I'm saying, and somebody. The 2 tackles go, somebody jumps up to get a quarterback. You don't have to move from 8, and you could probably get one of the LSU wide receivers.
I wouldn't take the other one at 8, but he's going to go.
I wouldn't take him at 8,
but he's probably going to go a little higher than people think because like he could raise some stock at the combine with a strong 40 time.
Mm-hmm.
But
now I think the Giants. The Giants are.
I think they're the team to watch to me for a receiver. People are saying quarterback. Yeah, it makes you can make an argument, but. Get the dude a weapon just to see what he actually got. He ain't had no legit receiver since he been there. So like, give the man a legit receiver and just see if he can do anything. But as far,
I understand what you're saying.
People thought Josh Allen might have been a bust until they got Stephon Diggs. Then he took the next step. Get the man a bona fide number 1. I know the rookie's not going to be the bona fide number. He's not going to be Stephon Diggs day 1, but it should, give him something more reliable on the outside because they got a bunch of slot receivers.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
As far as
I mean, hell.
Yeah.
But as far as might not know what he's doing.
He might not, but the owner's involved. The owner likes him. The owner was the reason he got that contract. So they're going to get him a receiver. But as far as how we are going to address the receiver position, it's going to be a little bit of both. I'm not so sure that we're going to attack it at the first round. It could ultimately just depend.
I would be very happy.
I wouldn't mind it.
Very happy attacking it in the second round.
Yeah.
I would be very happy attacking it in the second round.
This is
because go ahead.
No, like this is what I'm thinking as far as like free agents, right? I could maybe see a Tyler Boyd because he came from a similar system from the Zach Taylor thing. Because Zach Taylor's a Sean McVay disciple, so there should be some type of carryover in language, maybe, or at least philosophies and scheme. Another name I'm looking at is Josh Reynolds from the Lions. He played with the Rams before that, and he's not the most exciting thing, but he is a reliable receiver. He's an explosive receptionist. He eats on these 20+ yard receptions. Not the most explosive athlete, but he's sure-handed. He knows how to run routes, and he's 6'3". He's a big receiver, but he has a little wiggle to him. So he is a name that would make a lot of sense to me coming to Atlanta. He spent time with Zach and Raheem in LA before he went to the Rams. Before he went to the Lions. That makes sense. Another name that I kind of like is Duvernay from the Ravens. He gives you return plus side, and he's fast.
He is up. Wow. Then they've gone receiver. They've gone heavy receiver in the draft for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
But he's up.
Yeah. He gives you
He's a third round pick.
Yeah. He gives you special teams upside, and he's fast. And we need speed.
Mm-hmm.
So
we do.
That's something to watch out for. And then in terms of the draft, I don't think we're going to go receiver at 8. Is it possible? Absolutely. But that all really hinges on what they do with the quarterback situation.
Yeah. I 100%. I think I'm with you on the idea of it is how the board falls. If by some miracle Malik Neighbors or Marvin Harrison Jr. is there, I think you got to have a serious discussion.
Yeah, because those are blue chip players.
Yeah, you got to have a serious discussion. Yeah. But I don't think either. I don't think either one would be there. Malik might.
I don't think he's going on lower than 6, because Malik Neighbors' biggest con is he's in the same draft class as Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, I don't think he makes it past the Giants. I don't think he makes it past the Giants.
So that leads me to second round talent. Due to the type of receivers that I've seen to see with the Rams, I could see and like this. Look, I hate that everyone makes this comparison because he don't play like other white people. Like people be like, "Oh, he reminds me of Julian Edelman. He reminds me of Danny." Ladd McConkey does not play like them. Sure, he's a shifty white guy, but he got a lot of AB to his game. I know that's blasphemous to some people, but just watch the body movement, the way he runs routes.
Yeah,
even speed's comparable. So Ladd McConkey is someone I could see as targeting in the second round, but there's also a possibility that with a strong combine, he could put himself into the back of the first round. Another receiver. I mean, because a lot of these fringe first round receivers like McConkey, Troy Franklin from is it Troy Franklin, the dude from Oregon? Franklin. I just know Franklin. He is someone because he's a tall, but he's fast. It's a lot of different ways that you can go about. Maybe even getting a dude from Rome Wilson from Michigan. He's another good explosive receiver that you can kind of move around to different avenues. This is a deep receiver class. And like most receiver classes, it's one of the things where you got to pick your flavor. So
and we leaving with something. You came from around the way. We leaving with something.
This is gonna be the first time. This is gonna be the first time that we took I'm not counting the Drake London pick. This is gonna be the first time just kind of hell, I don't remember the last time we took a mid round receiver because even Russell Gage was a 6th round pick.
Let's see.
I don't remember the last mid round receiver we took.
The whole Arthur Smith era we haven't.
No, we didn't take. Well, it was either Drake in the front hand and then Frank Darby at the end.
Yeah. Frank, if you listening to this, don't leave me on red on Instagram. Like that's rude, bro. Like I'm just a fat chick at the club. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Either way. Arthur Smith tenure, when I go back to Dan Quinn, like you said, we had Russell Gage in the 6th round. We filled out a lot through free agency.
Yeah, like Sanu was a free agent pickup.
And then we got Julio.
And then, like all the other guys, like I can't remember the last time. This is going to be the first time in a long time that we've, like, Harry Douglas is probably the last mid-round receiver that I remember.
Yeah. Or like 3rd round pick.
Like, something like them.
No, Malcolm Jenkins was a 1st round pick.
Yeah, he was?
Yeah.
Shit.
I don't know.
Harry Douglas then. Yeah, Harry Douglas is the last mid-round receiver that I remember. So I expect a receiver within the first, most likely on day 2. Because we have 3 picks on day 2 as of now. Trades could change things. But as of right now, we have 3 day 2 picks. I expect one of those to be used on a receiver.
And y'all, quick promo, tune in be live. We will be at the draft in Detroit. We're going to be live streaming for a good bit of the day. We're going to be hanging out with all the Falcons fans there. We're going to be dropping multiple pieces of content throughout the day. So please tune in April. We will be there for the draft.
Yeah.
Now, going to tight ends, right? Pitts, his 5th-year option hadn't been picked up yet.
It's like a 90. I think I say it's like a 95% chance he's going to get it picked up because like his production's not his fault.
I would say 99.
Yeah,
I would say 99. It's almost 100% a guarantee.
Because like when you break down the numbers, like his shortcomings aren't his fault. Sure, does he have blame in some things? Absolutely, he's not without blame, but the majority of it is not his fault because he can't throw the ball to himself. So he's been hindered by quarterback play. And then injuries, and then he played all 17 games this past year, but his knee injury was more severe than we had initially were led on because Arthur Smith had a big hard on for not telling you nothing when it came to injuries.
And I think that earlier in the year when we were talking about Pitts not looking as explosive or kind of jogging routes or whatever, he wasn't healthy.
Yeah,
he wasn't healthy. And you see
it. And I was saying that the whole year, but it's just like everyone was like, well, based on the injury we know, he should be healthy. And then we found out there was another, it was more than that was let on.
Yeah, he basically tore his whole knee in half. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I mean, keeping it a beanie, that's basically what happened. He tore his whole knee in half.
Yeah, so.
Like, and they kind of just played it like it was a meniscus tear. You know what I'm saying? Like, a meniscus tear, anybody who plays some contact sports.
What was it? It was either, I think they told us it was the MCL when it was a PCL with it. So it was MCL and the PCL because MCL is only like a 6 week recovery.
6 to 8 weeks, bro. Yeah, 6 to 8 weeks, bro.
It's not.
So we're like, okay, yeah, shut him down for the season. You know what I'm saying? The season's lost. He should be back 100% next year. You got a whole PCL injury, bro. Like your knee is wobbling. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like for lack of better. I
remember when he was walking in the training camp. And I'm like, this dude walking kind of funny. Y'all sure? Because they were like, he's gonna be ready. And props to him for coming back because I'm pretty sure he was in pain.
Yeah.
So props to him for coming back, gutting it out, and finishing the season healthy. So props to you for that. That does not go overlooked to me, and that gives me a greater appreciation for you, no matter what some of these other not non-understanding fans would say.
Yeah, and 100% another piece of it is that I think that injury has helped him avoid a lot of hits because he was like a little Superman his rookie year. He had that injury, and like I can't remember one time he got hit low this year because he was doing his best to avoid hits.
Yeah. So
like I ain't see his legs get taken from under him all this year, and that's savvy playmaking. That's understanding your body. And you can't say he wasn't effective. Like you consistently pointed out through the year, he was top 10 in most tight end productions numbers. Outside the touchdown,
he was like 11th in the efficiency. But like, I mean, given the quarterback situation, you'll take that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
So when we get down to the rest of the tight end room, you got Jonnu Smith, you have John Fitzpatrick, and is there another one or?
Pruitt's going to be an unrestricted free agent. Okay, so Fitzpatrick is making $1 million for the next couple of years. He's basically just a blocking tight end.
So it's just Jonnu Fitzpatrick, right? I mean, yeah, Jonnu Fitzpatrick is the only two. So I expect Fitzpatrick to be there, but there's also a possibility he could be cut, just depending on what type of, how they want the tight ends to look. Jonnu Smith,
because he doesn't necessarily make anything, but he is a good blocking tight end.
Jonnu Smith is a good tight end, and he was very productive for a second tight end. Very productive. However, this offense could obviously go a few different ways. Just coming from what they ran, and I'm gonna say it again, this is not going to be a 1-to-1. The Rams ran a ton of 3 wide receiver sets.
Mm-hmm.
So the Falcons, and essentially they could, but in Zach Robinson's interview, they asked him about Kyle Pitts. He said, yeah, he's a tight end, and we're going to use him as a tight end. We're going to, So that leads me to think that, I mean, yeah, you're going to move him around occasionally, but that leads me to think they want to use him more, in line. So if you're using him more in line, then what are you paying Jonnu $9 million for?
Which is a good amount of money for a backup tight end, bro. Like, Kyle Pitts is only making 10, bro.
Yeah.
How much you think Travis Kelce makes?
Like 18?
Not even that much. It's like 15, bro.
Damn. Well, sure.
Yeah, like Jonnu was making a lot for a tight end, bro.
A backup tight end at that.
He's making a backup tight end, bro. Like that's a lot of money. So so if you cut him, you would actually
$6.5 million.
Yeah. So it'd be $2.5 million dead cap if you were to cut him, and off his salary, you'd save 6.5. I think that is, if he's not open to a restructure, I think that is one of those cap casualties. Easily.
Yeah, it very well could be. I mean, there's gonna be conversation. It could be another situation where they trade him for like a 7th round pick to someone else. But yeah,
at that number though.
At that, I mean, we got him at the number, and they kind of reworked it when he got here. But yeah, I mean,
well, if that's the case, I think they reworked it just to be able to out him at the end of the season.
But that was an Arthur Smith guy, so he was going to be here. I believe, at least.
Which is true.
Because Arthur Smith loved him for Tennessee, and I'm pretty sure that screamed Arthur Smith. Terry was like, "Okay, I'll go get your guy for you."
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a world where I could see him to where they could, like instead of going with the 3 wide receivers, that they could kind of treat Pitts as that 3rd wide receiver / hybrid, and have him and Jonnu out there to kind of stretch the defense a little more. I can see that, but we really won't have the greatest idea until we see how they attack the receiver position.
Yeah, and I just if they don't necessarily get the receivers that they want, and then they kind of use Kyle in that regard, I can see keeping Jonnu in that. You know what I'm saying? And kind of just playing his contract out this season.
Yeah. But even then, though, it kind of just comes down to like numbers game, right? Will Jonnu at $9 million give you more production than a receiver you could probably give 3?
Or draft.
Yeah. And if the answer is no, then he's probably gone.
Or even a tight end you would draft in the 5th round, 4th round?
Yeah. So I mean, because they could still use Pitts in these variety of ways and still go get a different tight end and not pay him $9 million.
Yeah.
So
so I think it's very, very hard for him to. Yeah.
Yeah,
that might be a tough sell.
I like Jonnu, and he offers some exciting upside, but I don't know if he will be here. So he's still relatively young. He's going to be 28 this year, but $9 million, and you could say 6.5, and you could probably go get two receivers for that money. So.
Or just like one dominant guy, right?
Yeah, I mean,
because
you could.
Like if we were to get T. Higgins, I'm pretty sure his cap hit for the first 2 years is probably only going to be like 10, 10 million.
As much as I don't like those type of receivers, I don't expect that type of signing.
You don't expect a big signing at the wide receiver position?
Not like
more of the fill outs.
Not at least at that level. Because like T. Higgins is going to be at the top of the market. I think they might go maybe like the Tyler Boyd. Yeah. I don't expect the T. Higgins because like Drake's the number one, and they've made it clear he's number one. So they're probably just going to bring in people that support and complement his skill set, because to me, I mean, Higgins gives you a little bit more than Drake London, but their skill sets are very comparable.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. So moving on to the O-line, right? You got Matthews that just redid his contract. He's got a straight 21 cap hit for the next 3 years. Matthews is going to be here. Like we talked about, it's hard to do better and easy to do worse. So he's a guy. He's going to be there. Lindstrom, he's got an average of 20 for the next 5 years. He just signed a fat deal,
Now with
all pro.
him, I could definitely see them taking some money from this year and moving it around a little bit to free up some more money.
Well, yeah, because he's not going nowhere.
Yeah.
So like it'd be okay.
Like
So
he
back
makes the
to
most sense because if you go back like the past last year or like whenever they signed Grady and Jake, they signed them and then the next season they put some money from the years back a little bit. So I could see them doing that with Lindstrom, and then if they opt to re-sign AJ Terrell, that also frees up more money because that takes that what's his 5th year? What's his cap number, like 10 million, or is it a little more?
10.8.
Your mic just went out. I can't hear you.
Oh, 10.8.
Or that my mic go out.
It's probably you.
Say something again.
It's probably you.
Okay, yeah, that wasn't me. My fault.
It's probably you. Yeah.
Okay, what did you say? Okay.
His cap hit is going to be 10.8.
Okay, 10.8. So like, if you extend AJ, that drops that number down even more to free up some more money. So we're not there yet, so I've jumped the gun. But yeah, O-line, Chris Lindstrom, I can see them extending. Well, not extending, but doing a little restructure just to free up some more money on the cap this year. Because
so his number this year is 18.9. How I have it written down is he's an average of 20. Yeah, he's an average of 20 for the next 5 years. Yeah. He goes 18.9, 19, 20, 23, and then 18. Right?
They
so like
pushing some of that back, cutting that in half at least.
Yeah. So what they would do is, especially considering you expect him to be on the team at minimum for the next 3 years, is they would take $9 million off this year and give 4.5 to next year and the year after that. Yeah. One, it guarantees him not to be a cap casualty. He's going to be stuck on your team anyway. You just signed him to a fat deal. And you still leave yourself out for the 5th year. So what they wouldn't do is cut it all the way down, take $9 million off this year and put it on that last year. They wouldn't do that just because like that's bad cap management. Yeah. Right? Because it's basically saying that like in 5 years, I'm going to keep you on my team. Nobody in the NFL operates like that. Even though he just signed a 5-year deal, they're not thinking of that as a true 5 years. They're thinking of it like after 3, we're going to see how we feel about each other.
And then we're going to extend you or we're going to be like, all right, bro, you on your last legs. But that
4th year will be your last year. And then
it makes a ton of sense to, just take that 9 and then spread it out however many. You could spread it out 4.5, 4.5. You could do 3, 3, and 3. However you want to do it, that's up to them.
Yeah,
you get the Chris
and that's really if they want to commit to him that 4th year.
Yeah. Now you get the Chris Dallman. He's going to have to be re-signed, and I don't know if they're going to re-sign him because he's technically not their guy.
Yeah, and he's making like nothing. Him and Hinton and Gwen ain't making really nothing in the grand scheme of things. I think Dallman you keep. Bergeron, he's on his rookie deal.
Yeah, he's a 2nd round pick, and he showed a lot of promise, so he's going to be there. And McGarry's going to be there, at least for 1 more year.
So that's what I want to. Let's stay there for a second. Yeah, let's stay there for a second.
No, I was going to talk about linemen.
So, talk about who?
No, I was going to talk about like potential. Like, so I was just going to say that there's a potential to take a tackle on day 2 to be a potential replacement for McGarry.
Okay, yeah. I want to, but just to get into the numbers of McGarry real quick. So McGarry will be here this year. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about him. There's a huge out after this season. His dead cap number is 9.5, right? And or 2 mil is his dead cap number on a 9.5 salary. You would save $7.5 million if you cut him. And McGarry's play hasn't been. Now, we don't know how he looks in this offense specifically. But in Arthur Smith's offense, he struggled a bit.
They're not. Well, he was elite in the run. It's the pass because he's not. He's a mauler. And this offense leads me to believe that this is going to be a much more pass. I mean, they're obviously going to run the ball, but they're going to be a little more pass forward than Arthur Smith is.
Now, if he was to get so go ahead with your draft point. And I'll ask the question after that.
Look, I was going to say, so with McGarry's number, his and aptitude to pass block, I can see them, addressing a tackle in the second or third round, or maybe even just like getting a nice swing tackle, like maybe like Mekhi Becton out of free agency. Because
Now, I have a question for you.
yeah,
Because every single year, there's always a cap casualty that no one expects. A team takes a stupid dead cap number because somebody arrives in camp.
yeah.
If you draft a tackle and they're better than McGarry on the right side, do you think? Because keep in mind, $533,000
I already
is
know where
all we have on dead cap.
see. Like I know where you're going, and these people, Raheem Morris. I mean, he has relationships with McGarry because he was on the team. He was on the initial regime that drafted him, but they're still not married to him because Raheem wasn't the decision maker for McGarry. Jack Robinson wasn't the decision maker for McGarry. Even Dwayne Leffert wasn't the decision maker for McGarry. He probably was okay with bringing him back because hey, he's a good run blocker. He's going to help the scheme go. But like none of these guys were responsible for bringing him here. So they're not married to him. So if they can draft a guy that gives you better performance, there's no real reason to keep him. I mean, he probably will still be on the roster, or like I don't see them outright cut him. They might trade him, but I don't foresee an outright cut.
So even if you have somebody emerging camp, you just don't see an outright cut happening from McGarry.
Because it'll probably because he
the number is it's nothing to sneeze at. So the number this year would be 16.5.
It'll probably be something to where like we probably trade him for like a 6th round pick and then we eat a little bit of that money and then they take the rest on.
Mm-hmm.
It'll probably be a situation. Like
I don't think people understand how low $533,000 is.
It's crazy though.
That is elite cap management. Yeah. That's basically saying that like if I promise to pay you something, I'm gonna pay you nothing more, nothing less. If you underperform, I might keep you a little late. If I underperform as a team, I'm gonna make sure I pay you. Like the Broncos are gonna end up taking 45 mil for Russ? Or was it 85? It's something.
Yeah, they about to take a stupid ass hit and
yeah, they're about to pay like Russ $60 on dead, 60 mil on dead cap for like him to not be on their team. When Matt Ryan, when we got rid of Matt, we had a crazy dead cap number.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was him. It was Julio.
They have done so much to clean up this cap, and they have been great stewards of it. Now, this free agency splurge that we made might bite us in 2 years, but like cross that bridge when we get there.
Now, not to go off topic, but this kind of just made me think about like Raheem in the Julio situation. So when Arthur Smith and them got hired, Julio was like, I'm out. Do you think it's because maybe he wanted Raheem to be the coach and he didn't get picked? And he was like, well, yeah, I don't want to be part of this.
I think that 100% has something to do with it because you see it with Devontae Adams and Antonio Pierce. Yeah. You see it with Max Crosby and Antonio Pierce. I think that Julio, who by far is by any metric one of the greatest Falcons in Falcons history, saw the heights of that organization and felt the desperation of losing a Super Bowl and saw the incompetence of bringing that coach back after not the season after Super Bowl, but the season after that, where everybody knew it was over, and you brought him back. And he saw that incompetence, and he saw somebody turn it around. And like the record won't necessarily prove it, but everybody had a vibe ending that season that like I think anybody could have been. And it kind of, you brought Raheem back anyway because like he was the guy, but he was the guy 3 years ago.
Yeah,
he was the guy 3 years ago, and I don't think Matt could quit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But like Matt was only here for one more year after that.
I mean, but you know what I'm saying. Like it happens for a reason. Sometimes these things have to happen, and hopefully it works out for the best. But that's just the thought that just popped into my head, and I was just like, maybe Julio.
I think 100%.
He was upset with them for not going after Raheem, and he probably felt like Raheem because like the players are talking different whenever you hear them talk about Raheem. Like
Yeah.
the energy.
Bijan
Yeah.
straight up came out and said, was like, bro, this is what we needed.
Yeah.
This is what we needed.
And Bijan ain't been
Arthur
around
Smith
Arthur
drafted
for a
him.
year. He ain't even been around Arthur for a full year, and he's talking like this.
Yeah. It's just it's real. You know what I'm saying? And like, I'm not sure if Julio met Arthur Smith before he requested his trade. I'm fuzzy on the timeline on that.
No, like Arthur said they spoke or whatever. Arthur did allude to them speaking, but he also was like, I only worry about players on the team that I coach. You know?
Yeah. But I just think that was one of those moments where his guy didn't get it. And do you want the players running the team? No. You don't want the players running the team. But you
still want to value.
You do want somebody, yes, who commands their respect, who they're going to play for. Like, yeah, because otherwise you're going to get into situations where it's like, bro, I don't believe in that guy. And like 7-9, 3 years in a row, football players know football, bro.
Yeah.
And like they might not know every single schematic thing and know all the intricacies of the ins and outs and whatnot. And yeah, sometimes players just play, but also players know the game, bro. And they can't bullshit a bullshitter. Like they smell it.
Yeah.
And like it's one of the situations. If that's who you hiring, bet. I can't work for him.
Yeah. And yeah. I mean, I'm sure Arthur's a great guy, but you know, some players are probably disappointed that they didn't go that route. You know, I know people. You know, I wouldn't mind Julio coming back. Like, I'm not as a player, but you know, just to offer some insight to our younger players. You know, come to camp. Maybe this might be the year that Julio comes to camp again.
It's just like a little analyst position or something like that.
Yeah, you know, just
not sure if he really wants to get into the grind of coaching.
Yeah, maybe not the grind of coaching, but you know, because like this past year, off like Matt Ryan, he came out to the training camp. You know, he talked to Desmond Ritter. Ironically, the same day Matt Ryan came back was the same day Schaub was announced as an offensive analyst on the staff. But it just would be interesting, you know, to see him come back. You know, like, cause I don't know if any of these players have a relationship with Julio. Like, he wasn't on the team with them, but like, you know, due to him being Atlanta Falcons royalty, you know, maybe they've had conversations. You know, like it will be. I'm curious if Drake London and Julio had a conversation. You know, has Julio?
Because you're kind of looking at it where he's like 2 years removed.
I mean, yeah,
you know, and Julio was still in the league. You know what I'm saying?
He's still in the league, but you know, like Bijan's had conversations with Christian McCaffrey. They ain't never played together.
Nah, it's true. It's true.
Like Julio is not who he once was, but at one point he was the pinnacle of the receiver position. And you know, if you're trying to get there,
I just don't. I think physically, and this is not a shot at Drake at all. This is just ups on Julio.
See, I don't think that he going, but you don't. The physicals don't matter. Like Julio was a physical monster, but he also he was technical too. He wasn't just a freak athlete. He was a complete receiver in every aspect of the meet.
Yeah.
And
but I'm saying, I think people who are extremely physically gifted sometimes, like Randy Moss, really struggled helping people.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? That's not because he's an asshole.
Okay. It's not.
It's just he's physically dominant.
Okay, so this might be a high take. Randy Moss is a top tier, top 3 receiver, but he's number 3 behind Jerry and T.O. to me.
Yeah,
because it's like the reason Randy probably can't help you because Randy did shit couldn't no one else do. He could just run by anyone. He didn't have to focus on route running. He didn't have to focus on nuance. He just said, I'm going to line up. I'm going to tell, hey, I'm running the go route. What you going to do about it? Oh, you don't believe me? Hold on. Hey, throw this shit. As soon as he get even with you, he throw that hand up and it's over with. You ain't got a chance. Like, so, yeah, Randy Moss can't tell you how to run by somebody and throw your hand up. But who can teach you how to run a route?
I think
because he helped players like Russell Gage. Russell Gage is not the he's probably faster than Drake London, but he's not the athlete that Julio is.
no, which is true. Which is why I'm saying if
Yeah.
you bring him back in an analyst position, I think it'd be real cool.
I'm
Just
even
to,
talking
like
about
you
that.
said, get him
I'm
out
just
there
curious if
again.
they even just had conversations, because Matt Ryan had conversations with Vic. B. Jones had conversations with Warwick Dunn. I mean, even though Warwick Dunn technically is part of the ownership, but still.
I think it would go a long way to help him build that culture. And obviously, Julio's going to be a Ring of Honor person. Should be a Hall of Famer. Surprisingly, his numbers don't support it, but I think anybody who watched the game he's going to make it.
He gonna be
So, moving on to the D line, right? We got Grady. He's making $20 million for the next 2 years. Technically, he could be a cap casualty next year, but I think we're going to see how this year goes coming back from the injury.
next year. I could see it. I mean, he's on the wrong side of 30. He's coming off an ACL injury, and just depending on how he looks this year, could be very telling for his future in Atlanta. And I know, we never want to hear about the great players of our franchise, especially moving on. But that's just the reality of this business.
Yeah, NFL not for long, baby.
All great things come to an end. So,
Then you got Onyemata. Basically same situation. Just instead of 20, he's on 12.
Yeah, and they got it out for that.
He got it out at the end of next year. So, but D line is definitely gonna have to be addressed.
Yeah, for sure. And with us moving to I don't expect things to change drastically, because even though we're moving to 3-4, we're still gonna be in nickel 60 to 70% of the time anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So you're still gonna see your 4-man fronts. But it would be interesting to see what they do.
I think it leaves a lot of credence to the Dallas Turner pick at 8.
Yeah, it could. But I've also seen something about this dude. What the dude name is? The dude from Texas, Murphy.
Brian Murphy the second at 8.
I've seen a lot of people saying that's possible. They saying,
they said they smoking. They smoking. Not at 8. Hey, look, Byron, I ain't got nothing against you. I think you're awesome. Not at 8.
All I'm saying is, just watch the film.
Not at 8.
Just watch the film.
Not at 8.
Watch the film.
Not at 8.
Watch the film. That's all I'm saying.
I
wouldn't do it, but
So what are we talking about? You're like, I wouldn't do it.
No, because there's a distinction in not doing something and understand why you would. Just because I wouldn't do it, don't mean I can understand why you would. It's not a sexy pick. I get it, but that dude's gonna go higher than you expect him to. Just saying.
No. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for interior lineman picks. I love the when the Colts picked what's his name from Notre Dame, the All-World Guard.
Oh, Quentin Nelson.
Yeah, I loved when they picked Nelson. I'm all for interior on both sides of the line early in the draft. I'm fine with that. I don't think his talent matches the 8th overall pick.
That dude is talented, and they look. We'll revisit this, once we get deeper into the process, because the funny thing about the NFL draft is the media makes it seem like we got risers and fallers. I don't believe in risers and fallers. There might be probably a handful that actually truly rise and fall in the draft, but a lot of the time it's just the media catching up to
most teams like who they like.
Yeah.
A lot of teams like who they like.
It's just the media is catching up to the NFL. It's not the other way. Like the NFL, because some people have this notion that the NFL is paying attention to what the media is saying. They laugh at some of this shit because man, y'all just don't know what the fuck y'all talking about, huh?
Yeah, no, 100%. The teams they like who they like.
There's a particular draft. I don't know if you pay attention to the draft, the draft stock exchange with Trevor Sikkema and Connor. I forgot his last name, but Trevor Sikkema and Connor. Trevor Sikkema is very high, and he's has believed that some of the people, decision makers, are very high on this Murphy guy. That's why I'm saying just watch the film.
I mean, I gotta revisit that. I ain't gonna lie, I gotta revisit that.
Look, I got another bomb for you when we get down to the secondary. But yeah. But
So
but as far as
looking at the linebackers,
we don't.
We got. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say yeah. So like D-line probably gonna look to add a true nose tackle and just some rotational pieces. But yeah, on to the linebackers though.
Onto the linebackers, where I think this position has the highest. Even though we have the most players under contract, I think this has the highest potential for turnover. Surprisingly, Caden Ellis should be back. Caden Ellis should be back, right? Lorenzo Carter might be gone.
He's probably gonna be gone. Yeah.
Evan Cady,
he's gonna be there.
Pretty sure he's gonna be back. Troy Anderson should be there.
Yeah. Malone.
D'Angelo Malone.
He should be there. I mean, he should be.
I thought he was one for me that was iffy.
No, because the thing is, with them going back to a 3-4, that benefits him a lot more than being a 4-3. Because that way you could really, because typically when you're in a 3-4, typically whenever they go to their 4-man fronts, they're in wider rush angles. So you could really truly take advantage of his speed off there, because his best asset is his first step. And if you use him as like a 4-3 rusher, that does him no good, because he's what, 6'3", but he's only like 240. So like if them linemen get on him, he's not really going nowhere. So this move kind of I mean, I could be wrong, but it's a positive move for him. What he does with the opportunity is completely up to him.
So I do think there could be some turnover, especially with moving over to pass rush capabilities. Ogundeji,
he's probably on there.
Yeah, he's probably gone.
I think the only reason he's still on the roster now is because he went on injured reserve before they got to cut him.
Then you got some guys, and not to say they're not important. It's just kind of like late signings or whatever. Landman is actually a free agent.
He's a restricted though.
So restricted free agent. So is Bud Dupree.
Bud Dupree's unrestricted. Landman's restricted. Landman's most likely they're gonna give him a little tender. He's gonna be back on like a little 1-year deal. And pretty much how I expect it to be. Like Landman's gonna play, but it's gonna be kind of like him and Troy probably gonna split snaps. Like that like Landman might be like your first, second down, and then they're gonna bring Troy out there, when they need like the athleticism for coverage or blitzing. Like in terms of athleticism, they're on two different planets.
Yeah, Troy, even with the injury, he should, coming back, he should have a lot to do athletically.
Yeah,
right?
Because he had a torn pec. Like athleticism, he's still going. He's a top. He's like a 1% athlete. Like
yeah, it's just you're not touching him. Now going to the cornerback position, or we'll just go into DBs in general. Yeah, Jesse got his money. Jesse's paid.
Yeah.
It is time for AJ to get paid, right? You got Clark Phillips and you got what's the other one? The other rookie,
Helms, the safety.
You got both them are in the secondary and under contract. Everybody else is kind of a free for all, to be honest with you. If AJ, his projected pay right now is $19.4 million. So like if you average that out over 5 years, you're looking at right up under $100 million. I'm gonna be honest with you. AJ not signing for less than $100 million.
His agent going a lot. He got one of the best agents in the game. He got the same agent.
He's not signed. So
he got the same agent as Jesse in college.
I don't know where they got that 19.4 projected. That might just be based on the fact that he kind of had a down. He didn't have a down year. He had a bad end of the season. So might be on a little stalemate with AJ getting paid. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I've said multiple times, I'm all for players getting their money. If I'm AJ, I don't suit up without a new contract. I'm just straight up and down. Like we just being for real about it. I'm not getting on that field without a new contract.
He'll get his money. 19.
I think it's going to be closer to 5 years. I think it's going to be closer to 5 years, 108, 109, with probably around 65, 68 guaranteed.
I can see that. So yeah.
Yeah.
So with that,
Yeah.
and then you know, with our safeties,
Okuda's out of there.
yeah, cool. But with our safeties being Jesse Helms and Richie Grant, you're safety's gonna be a need. Free agency can make sense. There's some interesting options out there. Jordan Fuller, who is from the Rams, he would fit this scheme very well. If you, depending on how they want to do the scheme, if you wanted to go for more box safeties, you could probably go Kyle Duggar from the Patriots or Taylor Earp, who also was with the Rams, but he was with the Bills most recently.
Mm-hmm.
You have a few different options where you can go at safety. Now, cornerback, this is where I thought bombs come back in. I'm gonna get to that in a second. So, like free agent options, you could have, Akilo Witherspoon, who had a solid season with the Rams. He's a longer corner, 6'2", 6'3". On the outside, he'd be a solid option out there. A possible trade candidate could be Kendall Fuller from the Commanders. Dan Quinn tends to like.
You think they'd let him go? You'll have to pay him.
Hey, I'm just saying. He
But I mean, you're paying, like you're just about to pay AJ. Like you're going to tie up that much money in the cornerback position. Granted, you're not paying a quarterback right now, so you could. Yeah. But
because you could probably get him for because he's up there. He's about to be what 28, 29. So like you could probably give him like a little 2, maybe 3 years and just be like, all right, cool. Because
then aren't you just repeating Okuda at that point?
He's better than Okuda. He's much better than Okuda.
I'm just saying financially. Aren't you basically just repeating Okuda at that point?
It's a gamble that I'm more willing to bet on.
And is it as much a significant upgrade for you to commit 2 or 3 years to him?
Yes, he's a much better upgrade than over Okuda. Much better. Because this defense, based off what they're going to play a lot of more zone. Kendall excels at zone. Okuda does not. So like,
I agree there.
Because that's where Okuda's shortcomings come. Because in zone coverage, he was lost. If you just let him lock down a man, he's fine. But when you have to get him to defend the space and not the player, you get different results. Kendall can do a little bit of both. It may not be the most popular thing, but it's possible. Now, for the bomb, I got you. So there's a particular cornerback that is, he's not a carbon copy. It's not a 1-to-1, but he is very comparable to Jalen Ramsey. Who is the corner I'm talking about?
Nate from Clemson?
No.
Long, athletic, rangy.
It's not particularly like the long, athletic, rangy. He does fit those things, but like more so like the uniqueness of what he gives you on the field.
Cooper DeJean?
Yes.
Yeah. I told you. That's my favorite corner, bro.
Yeah, so because Ramsey.
How you gonna get him?
They're saying
you're not getting him in the second round. You're not drafting him at 8. You're not drafting him at 8, bro. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Nah.
It's something that
don't get me wrong. I completely understand the cornerback one. I think the more and more you watch film of him, you fall in love with how he plays.
Yeah.
I do not get me wrong there.
Yeah. No, I get it.
As an organization, you cannot pick him at 8.
Why can't you?
When the cornerback you selected at 8, you haven't paid. No, that's made an all-pro team. No, you can't do it. You can't do it.
But the thing is, they're probably going to pay AJ.
You can't do it.
Most likely, they're going to pay AJ.
Yeah, and then you're gonna have 2 first-round picks in your secondary, right? With a super highly paid safety.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to address the other safety position. No.
All I'm saying, it's possible.
No.
You may not like it.
And you have no pass rushers. You can't do it.
All I'm saying is, because this
can't do it.
Hold on. Terry has shown he doesn't care about positional value when it comes to picks. He's going to take who he thinks is the best player at that pick, regardless of position. So if they think Cooper DeJean is the best player at that pick, there's nothing that's going to stop them from taking him.
Here's the thing. I would be okay taking Cooper if you move down from 8 to 12 and let somebody bull up to get a quarterback.
Now here's the other thing, though. Like, because I know you love to talk about how the draft is an economical exercise.
It is.
Terry bucks your whole logic with that.
No, he doesn't.
He took a tight end at 4. He took a running back at 8. That bucks your economics right there.
No, it didn't, because your tight end won Rookie of the Year and broke every tight end record.
He didn't win Rookie of the Year.
He didn't win Rookie of the Year, but he broke like every tight end record. Your running back had 1,300 scrimmage yards, and Zeke went 4. And another running back went 15.
Okay.
Jahmyr Gibbs went 15.
He went 12. But
yeah,
see, production and the economical part, they're not going hand in hand here. Because based off the things, like, those are not considered premium positions. Because, the Lions got clowned for taking...
But they have to...
The Lions got clowned for taking Gibbs at 12 and the linebacker at 18. And they was a strong halfway from making the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, but here's the thing. You got to bring it all back in, because you got to provide context. There were not 32 first-round picks in the draft that the Lions took Jahmyr Gibbs at 12 and their linebacker at 18. If you want to go back, like, let's have a discussion about it. You look at Bijan at 8. Bijan was one of the true first-round picks in that draft.
Yeah, he was.
You could not afford to pass on him as a talent. The only other person that could fit positionally with your team would have been Christian Gonzalez at that point in time, right?
I understand what you're saying.
No, hear me out. You had your point. Hear me out. So, even then, I advocated for us to move down to take him, right? So, like, picking your running back at 8 when there's not any more than 20 first-round picks isn't bad, because then, like, it skews the math. You go back the year before, you took Drake London. Wide receivers have great positional value. You go back the year before.
Yeah, that's the only one that
Kyle Pitts is extremely helpful.
Yeah,
and he broke rookie records. But if you look at what was available, don't look at how the players panned out, because, like you said, like, necessarily production shouldn't look at it. Kyle wasn't a good pick. And, like, that doesn't mean he's not a great player and he's not good for the franchise. Kyle wasn't a good pick because you shouldn't draft a tight end at 4.
That's what I'm saying. Economic exercise. That Terry bucks that. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think he followed it the next couple drafts.
I don't know.
And it's not just in the first round.
He's not. No,
look at how he drafted the rest of the rounds.
But a lot of the positional stuff really factors in with the first round, because after that, people were much more forgiving in the later rounds. They ding.
I'm not at all.
Well,
I deem people from it. Yeah,
I know, but, like, typically most people, and it's funny because, like, these are people who typically, like, people act like the draft is only a 1-round thing. And
people stop paying attention after Thursday. And in general, managers,
I watch everything down to the last pick. I may not be paying. Yeah,
there's 32 of them.
Soon as that Falcon pick slide across my screen, I'm all right. Oh, that's who. Let me go pull some highlights up. Let me.
Yeah, bro. It's 32 GMs. 16 of them don't have any idea what the fuck they're doing. I stand on that, bro. I stand on that. Because, like, you'll be in the 4th round and pick a kicker. Like, what are you doing? It doesn't, no. Like, positional value does come into effect. And you'll overdraft when you spent in free agency. Like, that is a sign of somebody not knowing what to do. Terry is absolutely, he made up for the Kyle Pitts pick with the rest of his picks in the draft outside of Jalen Mayfield. Right, who shows up on the dead cat figure. Terry is extremely well at drafting. It's so much so that my draft last year, Like my video from last year was let Terry cook, because I do judge him on the entirety of the draft in conjunction with free agency, right? Because those have to work hand in hand.
For sure.
In that situation, when you had Kyle Pitts, you had Matt Ryan, which you still thought at that time, being a highly paid quarterback, that you weren't going to be in position to draft high again. You should have drafted a quarterback. You didn't, but that's fine. You got him a weapon. You got him in the next couple rounds. You got him some protection, and then you worked on the defense. Free agency, you worked on beefing up the line. You did what you were supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? I look at it in totality. In a microscope, I don't think that Kyle was the right pick. Kyle, don't hate me for that. I think you're an awesome Falcon. But like, I could understand them going in a different direction with quarterbacks.
Well,
and I actually, in that situation, would have.
Well, see, I have a little insight on the Kyle Pitts pick, right? So when they made the pick, there was the expectation that, Matt Ryan was going to be there. He was going to be throwing to Julio Jones. He was going to have Calvin Ridley. They're the pick. They're like, oh, we can add Pitts to this offense and take this really to the next step. Because the plan was to roll with Matt Ryan for at least another 2 to 3 years and then see where he's at and go from there.
Calvin Ridley gets in trouble with the gambling. Julio asked out.
Well, not Julio, but Calvin, the gambling thing that happened yet. What happened was he took time away from the team for mental health reasons.
That's what it was.
He had to step away from the team because his house got broken into. So as a man, it as a man, a protector, provider, you want to be there to protect your loved ones. So it's hard to focus on what you got going on, being away, knowing that someone done broke into your house when your wife and your child are there. So yeah.
100%.
So he took a mental leave of absence, and sometimes when you are not in the best mental place, you make stupid mistakes, and that's where I think the gambling thing happened. So we had that, and then back to what I was saying about Julio.
Julio asked out.
Yeah. Shannon Sharp calls him on live there. Julio says, "Oh, I'm out," and boy, that was a tragic day. That was tragic. Well, I was hurt that day.
Yeah. He knew he was on. He knew he was on live, bro.
Yeah, but Shannon didn't say anything after he said it. Neither here nor there. So you go from thinking, oh, okay, well, we about to have Matt Ryan throwing the Julio, Calvin Ridley, and then you going to add Kyle Pitts in there to just being Kyle Pitts. So, like, the plan changed. And that was really totally out of their control. So when you add context to the Pitts pick, it makes sense why they did it. Could they have taken Penei Sewell, who's the best right tackle in football? Absolutely. Could they have taken Micah Parsons, who's one of the best pass rushers in football? Absolutely. The Penei Sewell thing makes more sense. The Parsons thing is no one knew who was going to be that. Because he wasn't even a pass rusher in college. So no one knew he was going to be this.
Yeah, not to the level that he is.
They thought
actually,
he was an off-ball linebacker.
Incoming Micah slander, bro. Can be heavily neutralized as a pass rusher.
Yeah,
I think he's slightly overrated as a pass rusher.
Run at him, yeah.
Yeah, like he's very light. He can be a game record, but like he feasts on bad tackles and it kind of inflated his numbers this year. He had multiple games where he was completely neutralized. Yeah. San Francisco, obviously, in the Green Bay game, like he had one tackle playoff game. That's not a good look.
Well, that's because they just buckled up and they just because the Dallas defense is a fast side defense. So they said, "Fuck it, we're gonna run straight at y'all ass."
And they light on the inside. Yeah. They just light
because and I applaud Michael Parsons, but he a better man than me because I'm not about to invite no one on my podcast and let them explain how they whip my ass.
That was wild behavior. Like, this
bro.
Because I was just like, bro, this shit different, bro.
He let Jordan Love come on his podcast and explain how he whooped their ass. Like, you a better man than me, Michael. more power to
Yeah,
him.
and he let CJ come on the pod and just be like, "Hey, look, bro, we go band for band on what state is better," and really got him on some truth. But hey, I ain't got too much word to speak on another man podcast because we doing our own birds of a feather gang.
Yeah.
So getting to the special teams, Koo signed up for the next 3 years, Pinion for the next 2. There's not really much we can say or do there. Right now, our current dead cap sits at Jalen Mayfield, $266,000 this last year on the cap. Darren Hall, Kalon Harris, Justin Marshall, Mike Jones Jr., Xavier Malone, Timothy Horn, and Carlos Washington Jr. You probably don't know most of those names. It's just guys that come and go, right? Each of them following their NFL path, NFL dream, just weren't able to make the team. And the team has a fiduciary responsibility to report that most of these earnings are below the 10,000 mark, so they don't actually really make a dent into the salary cap at all. So moving forward, we're going to get into some free agency stuff. We're going to get into some draft stuff. So now that we've broken down what the salary cap has done, now we're going to get into the fun stuff of what exactly this team is going to be built and look like over the course of free agency.
One thing with the salary cap, and I feel like a lot of people tend to forget this. Like, I think currently our salary cap number is like 34, I think, 30 something. Obviously, I don't know if that factors in the bump that's coming because once we get the salary cap goes up every year, like every year, like 10 to 15, maybe even 20 million. So anywhere.
It's going up around. It's going up on average around 7% every single year over year. Just because the TV revenue keeps piping in, baby.
Yeah, so the cap's gonna go up, but you also got to factor in. You got to take about 11 mil out for draft picks, maybe a little more.
It should be around almost 16.
16. Okay, 16 mil. Yeah, because we got the extra second. Now obviously that could change. A reallocation of assets, but yeah. So
I think we should be major players in free agency. There's no one that we just absolutely can't get. Yeah, there's no one we absolutely can't get.
Now, I wouldn't be surprised. Like free agency is going to be very telling to what they do in the draft, and I do expect them to get a quarterback, but it may not be the quarterback that everyone's expecting. No,
I swear to God, if they pick Bo Nix at 8, we gonna suspend the pod for a week.
I'm not even talking about. There's two options. I meant to bring this up earlier, but it just came back to me. I know we're trying to close this up, but let me just get these two off real quick. So one, as a veteran signing, Carson Wentz. He knows the offense. Mm-hmm. He's had success in this league. Maybe he could be a good spot starter or whatever, or just a good veteran head in the room.
Yeah, you mentioned that before as a piece that could kind of bring things together. Yeah. It's not crazy. It's not wild. It definitely fits what our offensive coordinator has said that he wants to see in a quarterback.
It's not your plan A, but I'm just saying, don't be surprised if you see a Carson Wentz signing. Now, this other one, people probably ain't gonna like this. I'm almost certain a lot of people ain't gonna like this. But as a reclamation project, what quarterback do you think could come to this system and have relative success for the right price? Like maybe a 5th round pick.
I'm not gonna cap to you. We might be on the same path here, and this might sound crazy. I think Zach Wilson would do okay in this offense. I wasn't talking about him. Same conference, wrong quarterback. Same division, wrong quarterback. Mac Jones?
Yeah.
Mac Jones? Both of them strike me as guys who would. The only reason I went Zach Wilson over Mac Jones is just because the livelier arm and more mobility. which is two things that our coaching staff said they were looking for.
Well, the main thing that they said they were looking for elite processors. Mac Jones is a better processor than Zach.
That's true. That is true.
And Mac Jones has actually showed he can play good football in this league. Zach might have showed you a game.
Zach has never really showed that. Yeah, Zach has never really showed that over a consistent stretch.
So Mac Jones is also a possibility that he could be quarterbacking for us, for the right price. And I wouldn't mind
now.
it because I think he could thrive in this type of system.
Here's my thinking, because the Patriots, it's kind of just, the Patriots are picking a quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Drake May, and I've gone back, I've watched film, no slander, just like my honest opinion of watching the film, doesn't give me anything too much different than what Mac Jones was giving.
Well, he gives you
right?
He's bigger and he gives you a stronger arm. And
he gives you a stronger arm.
And he gives you much more. He gives you much more athletic ability because,
he gives you a little bit more wiggle.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No. What you about to? I'll say it after you because I want to make the point. Go ahead.
So the Patriots picking him and trading away Mac Jones. To me, I feel like because it seems like Jaden Daniels is just a lock to go to now. I would not be surprised if the Patriots moved and kept Mac Jones.
Yeah, it's a possibility because maybe
I would not be surprised.
Or they just take Marvin Harrison and get Mac Jones a weapon because he ain't had no weapon since he had no bona fide weapon.
And then that opens up a whole can of worms for where Drake May is going to go. Because it seems like Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Seems like Jaden Daniels is going to.
Yeah, this is how I think the draft is probably going to go. Obviously, Caleb 1, Jaden 2, Marvin Harrison 3, maybe Malik Neighbors 4, and then 5 with the Chargers. That could be a sell spot.
You don't think they take Brock Bowers?
Not at 5 because you could probably move down and still get him.
If somebody jump up and get Drake May?
Yeah. Say Atlanta, you could.
So who's taking Malik Neighbors at 4?
Cardinals. I mean, they could go with a tackle.
No, I was about to say I think they go Joe Alt.
They could, but I'm just saying they need a receiver too. They need a legit receiver. And if
either way, 5 is a sell spot. Either way,
yeah. But
I can see that.
Yeah, but I think if Malik's there at 5, then it could cause a little pause. And I don't think the Giants would do it because maybe they might think Drake May is a little too similar to Eli.
Oh no! If Malik's at 6, the Giants are taking Malik.
No, I'm talking about Drake.
They'll
like I don't.
I'm saying they'll go for a quarterback next year.
Yeah. So but like I think 5 is that sweet spot because the receivers are going and they want.
Who's at 7?
7's the Titans.
They're not drafting a quarterback.
They could take. They could take a lineman or a receiver. They can go either or.
Yeah, I don't see. There's a possibility he makes it to 8.
No, but the thing is the Chargers probably make the most sense of the trade now because if they want Brock Bowers, they don't gotta take him at 5. They could trade down and still get him.
They can get him at 8, and we would be the ones jumping up.
Because us trading up to 5 will be a way to cut the risk of someone else jumping above us to get it. Or even just in case the Giants was like, well, I like Drake May because
the Patriots not taking a quarterback would shake up the draft tremendously.
But it's a possibility depending on how much they believe in Mac Jones. Because I don't believe Mac Jones is the bad quarterback. I think that he probably lost confidence under Bill Belichick because Bill's a hard person to play for. So
100%.
So you're under newer, more youthful, better connecting leadership. And I think that might revitalize Mac in a way to where you can get at least rookie or Mac or maybe a better version of that. But if not,
you get him a weapon.
Yeah. So, but if not, I wouldn't mind taking a cheap flyer on him and seeing if it could work because I do think in the right system. In this type of system, I think it works.
Yeah, but then on the same token, without really investing in a wide receiver position, are you just putting them in the same situation without a whole bunch of weapons?
No. Because Drake London and Kyle Pitts are better than anything he's ever played with in New England.
That's fair. That's fair.
And
That's
then
fair.
you add
That's
Bijan.
Touche, my nigga. Touche.
And then they're of
Well,
course they're
hey,
going to
look.
add. So
I think hopefully we don't get tantalized by talent and like look toward that division and go Zach Wilson. I still think there's an outside chance that I don't think we roll into the season with Ritter as the unquestioned starter, but I do think there's a possibility that Ritter could still start on this team next season, which is something I
think there's a possibility of him playing games, but I don't know if he'll be like. I could see him probably like maybe like playing like 2 or 3 games, maybe, but I don't know if he's going to just be the outright starter.
No, under no circumstances is he going in the next season as the outright starter. That's not happening. I don't care how much he picks up the offense, how good he looks in camp. This coaching staff is not tying their.
They're not. But you know, Drake London. I mean, not Drake, but if Desmond Ritter go out there and looks like Dak Prescott did in preseason, then people are gonna be like, "Well, shit, maybe it was Arthur Smith."
I don't doubt that part of it was Arthur, but hitching your wagon to Ritter got you.
Yeah,
fired.
no, it is. But what Ritter
and that leaves a bad taste in coach's mouth.
It does, but you also got to factor in things like Arthur Smith probably didn't cater to Ritter's strength because Ritter came from a
he 100%
because Ritter came from a spread offense, and where he was able to like see the whole field and decide from there. And Arthur Smith came in and gave him 2-man routes and just said, "All right, we're gonna cut half the field off. We're gonna just throw 2 routes out there and make something happen." And that's probably not the most beneficial for when you're used to having more options. You're like, okay, damn, I only got 2 options. Well, do I fit this in or do it like this or turn my back? Like it's a lot of nuance to it, and then maybe he's not being coached right. Because the stark difference between last year's staff, and I know we're running very long, but I'm almost the stark difference between last year's staff and this year's staff is the amount of quarterback influence. You have you have 6 or 7 former quarterbacks on this staff now.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas opposed to last year, you had 2. And you didn't even have a quarterback.
And an offensive lineman is that, yeah. No quarterback coach,
So there's a much bigger because this staff almost doubles in size of what Arthur Smith had in staff and coaches.
And Arthur Smith, he ain't shy about spending money. Arthur ain't shy about spending money. If you say that this is what you need, you say this is what you need, he's gonna build your staff out, but he expects results. But if you remember, Dan Quinn had a really big staff. And if you look at that staff has gone to multiple places and become offensive coordinators, head coaches. And that offense was one of the best offenses that we had. So I think that there's pros and cons to having a big staff. Yeah. I think too many hands in the pot can mess up the dish. But on the same token,
I think
a lot of people can help you reach a goal.
I think
many hands make the load light.
Yeah, many hands, but I also think it's more so like of a thing to where it makes it easier to because I think the downfall to the Dan Quinn thing is he didn't have a plan for when Shanahan got hired up. So when you have all of these people, because they had Mike McDaniels, they had LaFleur, they had all of these names in that room, and they let him go because you're not ready.
Nah, he took them with him.
No. But you could have easily elevated one of them to the offensive coordinator. Why didn't you?
Shanahan took McDaniels and made him an offensive coordinator.
But you LaFleur was still there too. You let all 3 of these names go. Why don't you elevate any of them?
He made LaFleur. Didn't he make LaFleur the assistant head coach and quarterback coach?
No. You talking about
did he make LaFleur?
You talking about Shanahan?
Yeah.
Coordinators are hired. The thing is, I don't think assistant head coach is a promotion to coordinator. They could have blocked it and hired him as a coordinator. Shanahan has to ask them to take them.
That's true. That's true. But they all kind of came together. They rolled in a group.
That's fine. But the Falcons still, because they're under contract with the Falcons, not Shanahan.
That's true. Not as facts. You did let that whole offensive staff leave. You did let that whole offensive
because
staff.
the word is that Dan Quinn was unimpressed with what they had to offer, and then so they were ready, so he let them go. So
I mean, so to be honest, at that point in time, because we're viewing it in the sense 3 years down the road.
Yes. But
yeah, so like at that point in time, it could have been because Mike McDaniel didn't go as an offensive coordinator. LaFleur was the offensive coordinator. Mike McDaniels went as not quality control, but he was kind of low on the offensive totem pole.
He was never.
So
I don't think he was never even a coordinator.
Yeah, so to move him all the way up to offensive coordinator, he might not have been ready.
Yeah, but he went from whatever he was straight to head coach. He skipped coordinator altogether and went straight to head coach.
Yeah, at the time, he might not have been ready.
He might not have been, but at the same time, it's like you have all of these offensive.
No, I think if I'm not mistaken, he was an offensive coordinator for Mike.
He was not
Mike. What?
Mike McDaniels.
He was what's it called? He was an offensive coordinator for the 49ers. Let's see. He was an offensive assistant. He was a run game coordinator. He was an offensive coordinator for 1 year before he went to the Dolphins. So he had two types. He was an offensive assistant with the Falcons.
Okay, my bad. It wasn't. He never called plays. That's what it was.
No, he never called plays, but he was a coordinator, bro. Like that's.
Okay, he had that
so
year,
we're looking.
My bad. I overlooked it, but still.
But he was in
Atlanta for 2 years.
Yeah, he was a run. He was a run game coordinator. He was a run game coordinator, bro. And so, like, to move all the way up from offensive assistant to offensive coordinator, that's a big jump.
It's a big jump.
That's a big jump, bro.
You had LaFleur too.
And like you just said, he never called plays.
But you had LaFleur too.
Like LaFleur immediately went as an offensive coordinator to Shanahan.
But they could have promoted him, and then you can't. Lateral moves are not allowed. He's contracted to the Falcons. No matter what Shanahan wants, they have to approve it. The Falcons have to approve it first. Shanahan can't just pull him because he wants to. They go,
no. But
we want to promote you to offensive coordinator. All right, cool. So now Shanahan can't
bird's eye view of the situation. You're the boss. You are not involved in the offensive system at all.
Yeah.
You have this boy genius who is calling the plays, running the thing. He is saying that he gets a head coaching job somewhere, right? This little peon at the bottom offensive assistant, you damn sure ain't finna promote him. The second guy in the building, you have questions on whether or not he's ready. And this guy who's getting this job is saying he's gonna take him. Like, bro, take him. Cause I don't know. I wasn't involved in that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm losing my head play caller. So like I can't say he's necessarily wrong there. We're looking at it hindsight. Hindsight's 2020. But like in that moment, yeah, you can't. Okay.
So Matt LaFleur was a quarterback. He was a quarterback coach. He was a quarterback coach for us in 15 and 16. Matt Ryan, he was our quarterback coach. So he was very influential in the offense. He was a quarterback coach from 2010. So 2010 to 13 was a quarterback with the Redskins. I think that was the 3 years. Quarterback coach with Notre Dame for a year. Came to Atlanta 2 years. Then went to he didn't even go with Shanahan. He went to McVay.
Yeah, he went to McVay.
And then he went to the Titans as a coordinator, and then he got hired by Green Bay. Why couldn't they promote him?
Yeah, bro. Like,
because like he left.
He probably just didn't think he was good enough.
But he left us and went to a coordinator and put together a good offense.
He didn't think it, but like that's hindsight. At the moment, you probably just think he sucks.
Yeah, it is what it is.
But I know we've gone hella long, got a little off, but come back. We're gonna be here for a lot of free agency stuff. This has been your boy Q City.
Your boy Taj Bravado.
Please like, subscribe, share, hit the bell, ding, all those things. Follow us on X, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all that. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Thank y'all for staying with us. We out.
Peace.
Looking like I hit the lotto. I want a hottie like mulatto. I'm on here and she on Moscato. I'm in them good till tomorrow. I'm a robber for De Niro. Show little laws, I'ma put you on payroll. You smell that aroma? There's eye in the air, it's a party in here. Papa Corona, she moving her body, she working them heels. Gotta go get it mentality. Grocery bag full of celery. Only believe half what she telling me. Keep a 20 on me, case emergency. I wake up early every morning. Thank the Lord and get the bag. Hustle hard, get the cash. Stack first, then I'm showing my ass. Gotta go get it mentality. Grocery bag full of celery. Only believe half what she telling me. Keep a 20 on me, case emergency.
My babies, that's who I grind for. That's who I do it for. Like the Navy, that's who I'm toting that iron for. Keep one in the head like a thought, nigga. Yeah, I fuck with Ty, he a boss, nigga. Foot on that neck, I exhaust, nigga. Niggas cross me, so I cross, nigga. No stripper was lit last night. 500, what it cost, nigga. Shit was really legit last night. Had them hoes at the house, nigga. Instagram, Snapchat, Triller. What they say about Jay, he a go-getter. Used to have them fat sacks in the grove, nigga. Late nights, early morning, my dough, nigga.
You smell that aroma? There's eye in the air, it's a party in here. Papa Corona, she moving her body, she working them heels. Gotta go get it mentality. Grocery bag full of celery. Only believe half what she telling me. Keep a 20